Autism affects the way children communicate, but just because their communication skills are inhibited doesn't mean that we should care any less.
Well, I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but I think that it doesn't really matter if we know exactly what it is. It just matters that we do something about it and help people.
Autism is something that gives us quirky, unique, and fun kids.
Autism is a different way of learning.
Autism is a different state of mind.
Autism is a neurological disorder.
It affects their processing and communication skills.
Autism is a spectrum disorder characterized by difficulties in social interactions, verbal and nonverbal communication, and repetitive behaviors.
Autism to me isn't a disorder, it's just a different way of being. Autism affects a person's ability to communicate with other people. It affects the way that they pick up on social cues.
Even though we see it as a crippling thing, it's really, they're crippled in some way, but ways that we're not strong at, they're very strong at.
I like that they're all different. They all have different personalities and different strengths, and there's something new every day.
The kids with autism are very unique in their own special ways, and they touch many people's lives.
I think they're great.
I think students with autism are the most honest and exceptional people.
Students with autism are unique and all have different needs.
Autistic kids are fun to be around and they're really funny.
They're the same as us, they just have a difficult time with communication and social skills.
They don't base a friend on what they look like or their strengths or their weaknesses. They're just happy they're there.
They're just so much fun and they're always energetic.
I feel like they've made my high school here at Spanish Fort, getting to just sit down with them, get to know them, learn about them, eat with them, just make their day and give them things completely makes them brighten my days.
You can help them by not treating them like they have a disability, but treating them as a friend or a regular teenager.
We are trying to learn how to help families as well as our teachers learn how to work with these students, understand the disability so that we can help them and their families better be equipped to help that child be successful.
Treat them like a normal person and treat them as like you would your friends and hang out with them and like sit with them at lunch.
Making an effort, really talk to them or just spend time with them instead of just kind of sitting there and watching, really try and get to know them, and you'll realize that they're really awesome people.
Do is start talking to them, and when you start talking to them, you build relationships, and when you start to build relationships with them, most likely other people will follow.
Sitting with them at lunch, saying hey to them at break, or just really being their friend, because that's all they really want. It's just someone that can treat them like a friend does.
So important to have a program like Project Outreach here at Spanish Fort High School, because it is a place where people with autism can feel comfortable learning to communicate with peers and the world around them.
Well, let's talk about what's not autism. A person without autism is like this square. Okay? We know a lot about this square. In fact, in math class, you've learned formulas for this square. You know the equation for the area of the square, and you know the equation for the perimeter of the square. But what about the people with autism? They're like this star. They're very different from the square. We don't really know much about this star. We know that it processes information differently. We know that it reacts differently. We know that it interacts with people differently. But we just don't know enough about this star. In fact, you don't even know a formula for the area of the star. You don't know how to find maybe the perimeter of the star. We've got to spend more time on studying this star so that we can let this star do what it was meant to do, which is shine for everyone else.